Hi, this is a really fast introduction to some features of spreadsheets that you likely will be using in your very first semester physics class. So here I've got Excel open. You can do very similar things with Google Sheets, for example. The menu may be slightly different, but overall the features are the same. A lot of the syntax is the same. So in this spreadsheet, we've got data arranged in cells. So this is this grid of columns, which are vertical, and rows, which are horizontal. So we can click in a particular cell and do stuff in it. So here I've just clicked in cell B4. You can see column B, row 4. I can start typing stuff there. I can type it right here in the cell. So I just typed 3.3 there. In this one right here, so now I hit enter and it went down to B5. I could also type stuff in this formula bar, which is a kind of expanded view of what's going on right here. So I'm going to type 4.7, and then you notice it appears in the cell at the same time. We can also use it to do math, though, and this is really the most powerful part of it. So I'm going to tell this cell right here to B6 to have whatever is in A6. So we're telling it to do some math, so we're going to use an equal sign. The cell is equal to, and I can type A6 because it's there, A6. That's the first way to do that. And it doesn't matter if it's capital or lowercase. I hit enter, and notice that it copied what was right there. If I click on there, in the formula bar, it shows me that it says equals A6, but it's displaying that value here in the cell. In this one right here, I'm going to show you a different way to enter information. So once again, I'm going to click in the cell and I'm going to say equals, and let's suppose in this B7 cell I want to put what's in A7. I don't have to actually type A7, I can just click on it and it automatically fills in what's there. In fact, I can even use the arrows to move that around to different locations and it'll update the value right there. So that works nicely. Cool. So we've got those. Now I'm going to show you how we can take the same operation and copy it somewhere else. So let's do something a little more complicated in B8. Let's do equals AH squared. Okay. So first of all, we've got this value right here, okay, and I can change it, what was in the original cell, and it will automatically update what was here in B8, the one that depended on it. So again, B8 is saying what's in A8 squared. So if I change this here, what's in A8 to be a 10, notice that B8 automatically updated what was going on there. So let's see what happens if I take this right here and I'm going to hit copy. So you can do it with a menu like this, or you can do it with a keystroke. So I copied what was in this cell and I'm going to paste it over here. And so if I just paste it straight up, paste, notice it didn't copy the 100. What it did was it copied something else. And so it's a little bit complicated because here we see that this one is referring to E8. How did that happen? Well, we have to understand the way the spreadsheets handle references to other cells. There are two types. There are relative references and there are absolute references. So in this case, when I said equals A8 squared right here, I typed that in, but what it really means is this relative reference right here means, hey, take what's in the cell that's in the same row, same 8, and one column to the left. So I was in B, and so when I typed A, that meant one column to the left. So I was saying, take what's in the cell in the same row but one column to the left and square it. So if I were to if we look over here where I pasted it, it automatically updated that to be what is in the same row but one column to the left. Take that and square it. 3.8 squared gave us this 14.44. So what happens if I want to copy a reference really to this thing right here? So for example, here let's do another one, equals this thing right here, but let's make sure that when I copy it over here, it's still talking about A9 right there. So I can make sure that it's an absolute reference if I put a $sign in front of the A. So what that means right there is say, hey, when I say A, I really mean what is in column A. The 9 doesn't have a $sign, so it still means 1 to the left. So I'm going to take that right here. If I copy that to this cell right here, notice it took what was in A9 still. It kept the A, and well, I put it in the same row. Let's see what happens if I take that and paste that up here into F5. So it kept the A the same because the $sign was there. So when the $sign, that means I really mean A. I'm not talking about the one just to the left of it. I really mean A. So when I move that, though, because the 5 didn't have a $sign, when I copied it to a different row, it just took the same row that I pasted it into. So let's clear these out again. Let's clear all this out. And let's do that one more time. So I'm going to say in this one right here equals this thing right here, right? And if I copy this down to a different location, yeah, this one right here, when I wrote equals A4, that is 1 to the left and 2 up. And so when I copied it here, it was 1 to the left and 2 up. Now let's do this one right here equals $A5, right? And so that's this thing right here. So that's saying column A, but 2 up from where I am. So if we copy this over here, it says it's looking at column A and 2 up from this cell, which was this one right here. If I put it right here, column A, but 2 up from this row. So there we go. That's this number right here. Now let's do equals a $sign. Whoops, can't click. A $7, right? So that is 1 row to the left of where we are, and then, 1 column to the left and row 7. So when I copy this over here, I go right, let's do it right here. So this is going to give me 1 column to the left. So when I pasted this into F, it automatically updated the column to E, but it stuck with 7 as the value because of the $sign right there. So in particular, right, if you want to stick with a very specific cell and not have the row or the column change when we update it, I can say, for example, equals A with a $sign and then a $6. That's this right here. So I can take this and I can paste it wherever I want, and it's always saying equals specifically A, specifically 6. I can paste it over here, right, and it will do it all the same there. So knowing those things, knowing how to enter formulas, how to make relative and absolute references, that's enough to get you started with doing a bunch of math.